Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Unfiltered Reactions, where I, your host Andre, rant, react, and mildly regret it later. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is highly appreciated. Without further ado, let's get to the content. Charlie Kirk has unfortunately passed away. He was apparently shot while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The shooting took place in the university's courtyard. Reports and footage suggests the shot was fired from the roof of a nearby campus building, the Lassie Center. There is footage online of the incident. Let's go through the content and start with the footage whereby there were people having a conversation on camera while the unfortunate incident on Charlie Kirk took place in the background.
It's just there's so much.
Before we had a flag and we had it so it's positioned above the tent so it would be in the camp.
Shooting. There's been a shooting. We heard shots. We heard shots. You guys okay? Apparently, there's been a shooting. I don't know who's been shot.
After this incident took place, the authorities had this to say.
We were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now.
This morning, I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
Suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age.
I hope this individual who is involved in this shooting is brought before the law and justice is served accordingly. Utah's governor, Spencer Cox, had this to say about the incident.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country, desperately need leaders in our country, but more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be.
After that, let's get to see the reactions of various people. Some people were sad about it, some people weren't so sad about it.
It was a kill shot. 110% it was a kill shot. Nobody can walk away from this, okay? I have seen my fair share of bullet wounds on people, and let me tell you what I saw. I can't show you, but I'll tell you. Charlie Kirk was sitting there, the white shirt on under his tent, answering some questions, has the microphone up right here, says something about gang violence, puts the microphone down, and all of a sudden you see something disappear on his neck, about that big, right there on his neck, and it was red. All of a sudden you hear the crack of the shot. In case you don't know, you're going to see the wound before you hear the shot. That's how I was able to really decipher if this seems legit, and it does. But you hear the crack of the shot, you see him tense up his hands like that and go a little limp, which is very common when somebody gets shot, and then it looks like somebody just turned on a water faucet. It was bad, very bad. And no matter what round or size that projectile was, that bullet, it could even be a 22, okay? I doubt it. It sounded more like a 30-30 to me, a typical hunting rifle with a pretty big round. But no matter what, the size of that round going in the side of your neck like this at that angle, it's going to affect your spinal cord. And I'm going to say a prayer after this video, and I highly recommend you do too, for Charlie, because he has a wife and kids. I don't agree with him. I don't like his political outlook, but I'm not going to hope he dies. Okay, that's what makes us human.
Do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Yes.
You hear what happened?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's very sad. I'm sad for his family. Sad for all of us, really. My heart is heavy. I actually came to walk my dog because he had a certain point of view. Very ironic, his last words. It's like, what are we doing? It just feels like, when is it going to matter to anyone?
What did you think of his political views?
I mean, not a fan. I'll leave it there, but like, who? I mean, from on a human level, like nobody deserves that. You know what I'm saying? It's like this.
Right.
This is. We should be looking at this on a human level. I do not like the man. No offense. Rest in peace. But no one deserves this.
Yeah, I agree with her.
This is why I will always say people are cut from the same cloth, but they swear they're a different thread count. The person has said things that we all don't agree with. The person has said ignorant comments, and he has shown no remorse to certain triggering situations in the world, especially overseas, to people losing their life, right? You're mad that he didn't show empathy or sympathy to people losing their life, but then when you're put in the exact same position, you have a smile on your face. You don't show no remorse. So how are you any different? How does that make you a better person? When you're put in the exact same position where someone can judge you for your character, you fail in the exact same way. Mind you, I started the video off by saying viewpoints that we do not agree with. We scream about freedom of speech, but yet you thought it was justified that someone lost their life for their opinion, an opinion that overall didn't matter because the person had no control.
The hypocrisy in human beings.
Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah giving a speech there. I just found out he's passed away. I can't believe he's dead. He was shot in the neck. Some of you might have seen an elderly man being dragged away. Turns out it was not him. Authorities don't know who did it. Violence is not the answer. This is a horrific tragedy, and we're all in danger now. This is a terrible, terrible thing to do. Violence is intellectual surrender. It's giving up and saying, I'm a loser. I don't know how to win in a battle of ideas. I'm going to resort to violence like an animal. It is the very last thing anyone who's progressive or on the left would ever do. We are for nonviolence. We are for peace. We are for our fellow human beings and humanity overall.
Right.
So I don't know who did this, but whoever they are, they're a monster, and they've done something terrible. That was not just a pundit, that was a human being. I'm so sorry to the Charlie Kirk family.
I am absolutely at a loss for words, sick to my stomach, distraught over what just happened, where Charlie Kirk was shot while trying to educate college students in front of his wife and young child. This just goes to show you that what we are fighting, it's not a difference of opinion on politics. It's not people who are trying to do what's best for this country. It is a pure, wicked evilness that could come only from the depths of hell. These people do not love this country. These people thrive off of fear and intimidation, but we're not going to let them win. If you are part of the silent majority, I need you to do me a favor and stop being silent, because there is strength in numbers and there is strength in unity. They could go after Charlie all they want. They could try to assassinate President Donald Trump all they want, but at the end of the day, they will never stop the movement of people who love this country and who advocate for this country.
What just happened with Charlie Kirk was an entirely predictable scenario. And it is a sign that things are going to get worse for our country, for our democracy, for our security. They're going to get much worse before they even begin to come anywhere close to getting better. I am not excusing or condoning what happened to Charlie Kirk on that stage. I'm certainly not celebrating it. But as someone who has studied him and extremist movements for years, I am saying that he made the bed that he's now laying in. This is not about the Second Amendment or his views on whether or not people should be able to own any certain types of weapon. And I'm not blaming the victim here, to be clear. But what I am saying is that Charlie Kirk was a big enough influence in our country to change the heart of our politics by demonizing, by targeting vulnerable communities, by turning political opponents into enemies, and by helping foster a culture where young, angry white men lash out and are expected to lash out. Charlie Kirk played a large role in making political violence in our country more acceptable.
That's an interesting opinion.
More common, more of the norm. And we will all have to deal with that long after he's gone. Now, my objective here is not to make you feel hopeless. In fact, it's the opposite. I want you to understand that there is going to be some political retribution. Donald Trump and his MAGA sycophants are going to lash out. They are going to use the virtually unchecked powers of the executive branch in the United States to lash out against their political enemies. And this is not something that's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. This is the new norm. Charlie Kirk will be remembered as a martyr for MAGA. And what happened to him on that stage will be used to justify political violence. It will be used to justify state violence against American citizens. All of this is bad. But again, my objective here is not to make you feel hopeless. It is to let you know that you can either sit back and let things happen or be an active force for good.
It is worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some deaths in the United States so that we can have the Second Amendment. That is a quote by Charlie Kirk. Another thing he said was, I think empathy is a new age term that is causing a lot of damage to our society. Okay, Charlie. You said it. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel deeply for his family. There are people that cared about this man, and their pain is going to be monumental.
Right.
And I feel for them. I really, really do. But try as I might, I just cannot feel bad about the loss of someone who has spread so much hate and made a career out of trying to take people's rights away. I just can't do it. I tried. I cannot do it. I'm sorry.
Why are so many of y'all wrapped up in the idea of being the bigger person? What has that ever gotten you? Where has that ever put you besides up high on your moral high horse so you can wag your finger at everybody else? Y'all are scolding people for not grieving a man who literally, openly, publicly said he did not believe in empathy, that he thought it was a made-up new age term. That man didn't care about you, your neighbors, your family, your friends, your children. He said that your lives were the cost that you unfortunately just have to pay to have the Second Amendment.
He did say that, but that does not justify the kind of violence that was perpetrated upon him.
If Charlie Kirk dies before 2026, I'm giving everybody $20. Oh my God, I'm gonna give everybody $20. I swear.
You guys let me know what you think of this down in the comment section below.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk because I cannot be in his shoes. I have no frame of reference for that. I have no cognizance for that. There literally is nothing about his existence that I can relate to.
Everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. Interesting observation.
Nah, don't forget now, Charlie went and told y'all, this is an unfortunate sacrifice. Charlie Kirk went and told you that it was an unfortunate sacrifice that would need to be made to protect the Second Amendment. Things like this would have to happen. A citizen getting popped in broad daylight would have to happen. As unfortunate as it is, it was an unfortunate sacrifice that must be made to uphold the Second Amendment. Charlie Kirk fought for that. He worked hard for this. He worked real hard. He advocated for a fascistic regime, preached nonsensical race junk science that has been debunked for over 100 years. He hated the LGBTQIA community. An active TERF who didn't want women to have body autonomy and reproductive rights. He was a known Islamophobe, a white Christian nationalist, a man who he himself went on record on his little TV show and said he hated empathy. He thought it caused a lot of problems. Mr. Kirk worked real hard for this, and he knocked on hate's door all of his professional life. And the funny thing is, if you knock on hate's door long enough, hate will finally answer, and it answered him.
When Americans are angry, they turn to guns. Every single time. We've been trying to tell you that for years, for over 20 years, because children have been unalived in their places of learning over and over and over again by hurt individuals. So it has happened to CEOs of the worst corporations in this country. It has happened to our president. Now it's happened to Charlie Kirk. Now it's happened to a political figure, which tells us something important about our culture. The internet and media have made it so the political space has expanded drastically. And in light of this, so have feelings about and surrounding politics. They've expanded, they've grown, and they've gotten serious to the point where people are so distraught and angered by their political emotions that they have resorted to pew-pewing people. And I can't act like I don't understand that. I can't act as though that feeling and that result is not expected when the talking points of these social media figures have led to a culture based around hating individuals who look like me. We are seeing a drastic resurgence of marginalization and dehumanization taking commonplace in America, in our social institutions. Places that we're supposed to feel safe are now politicized in a way that hurts brown, black, and LGBTQ communities. What do you expect to happen? Charlie Kirk has been one of the biggest vessels in communicating this hatred, and now we're seeing a symptom of a deeper problem manifesting in the violence that was perpetuated against him.
In this last clip, Charlie Kirk was in a podcast and the host asked him a very interesting question.
How do you want to be remembered? Die? Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important. Most important thing is my faith.
I think he is going to be remembered for his faith. Well, in totality, I think everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. Some people's opinion can be extremely controversial, while others are not so controversial. Whether or not his opinions are controversial, no one deserves violence just because he or she has chosen to express an opinion. Charlie Kirk had his opinions, and by all means, as a human being, he was not perfect. But nevertheless, someone thought that it will do the society justice by unaliving him. As a civilized society, all people are not going to agree on all things. There is bound to be disagreements. Not everyone thinks on the same level. People think differently. And for that purpose, there's bound to be different thoughts, different lines of thought. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please, if you like the content, don't forget to like, share, and comment. That helps support the channel. And please, don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And also, if you have any ideas on what content I should react to, please let me know down in the comment section. Until next time, guys, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Peace out.